Hi, my name is Logan Klaus. I'm a producer, singer, and songwriter from the Billboard 500 Club's private mentorship program with Adam McInnis. Thank you so much for tuning into the Music Industry Contact YouTube channel. We do hit song breakdowns, demo critiques, and have a wealth of music industry-related information for you to check out at any time. Today we're breaking down NCT 127's Gimmie Gimmie. I'm very excited. I've never heard this song before. I have broken down some of NCT 127 before, but I mean, this is all news to me, so it's very exciting. Anyway, as you know, we can't monetize these videos, so we would love to have you as part of our Patreon Golden Ear community. It gives you exclusive early access content, including videos and polls for selecting our next song breakdowns. If you're already supporting, thank you so much, and if you'd like to join, just click the link in the description. Thank you again. Let's get into NCT 127's Gimmie Gimmie. All right, I am very excited. I have not heard this before. I am starting to wonder if NCT is more of like a company, and then this tag, I mean, maybe this is common knowledge. I should probably get a little more updated as to what's going on here, but there's all these different NCT groups. I just broke down a few minutes ago NCT's Go. That should be up on either Patreon or YouTube if you wanted to check that out. Yeah, or NCT Dream, sorry. But, yeah, this is very interesting. I wonder if each group has kind of its own specific dynamic. I'm really kind of loving listening to all this music. I like the feeling of it being brand new. I don't want it spoiled, though, you know? So I don't really like to, you know, go out of the way to listen to these discographies while I'm still doing these breakdowns. But, yeah, so I've never heard this before. Here is Gimmie Gimmie. Let's see if there's anything we can learn from or add to our toolkit from this song. I'm going to play it up until the first chorus probably. It's a bit longer than normal, 3 minutes and 43 seconds. It's quite exciting, so let's just see how it goes. Here it comes. Definitely grabs attention. Wow. Whoa. Wow. 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 This is wild. Love-aholic catcher. Whoa. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. So, I mean, I'm reading the lyrics and listening to the song. I don't know if some of the captions are like auto-generated, so I don't know. Oh, it looks like, okay, it looks like it's, yeah, it looks like it's actually official. Sometimes the subtitles are auto-generated, and I don't know how accurate what they're saying is, but these lyrics are very interesting. I mean, yeah, wow. I also have to comment here, like, these guys really know. Who's ever in control of their style is it's very eye-catching. I've never seen a group like this. I mean, I love what's going on here as far as the vibe they're trying to set. This dude's pants, I want those. Wow, this guy, or I don't know, well, whatever the color scheme is here. Yeah, this guy's pants right now. We gotta, I mean, that's a win if you ask me. Yeah, look at these guys, very well dressed. I like the color scheme. I mean, you know, it's very kind of Motley Crue or Black Veil Brides to go for like the red and black, but I like the way that they have the burgundy kind of going through the burgundy, the white and black here. They obviously put a lot of effort into, you know, what's going on here. I mean, these are some of the biggest bands in the world, most like manufactured groups of all time. but still, it's very interesting. Yeah, there is a lot to break down here. Obviously, grabbing attention right off the bat. Like, the video has no build-up. You just press play and it's instantaneous. There is nobody who is going to hear that sound and not go, what the heck did I just hear in my head? What is going on? Yeah, it seems like this song is kind of going for that bravado, kind of badass, kind of chip on your shoulder a little bit, just that vibe. So these singers are really going for the in-your-face kind of feeling. So let's just kind of see how the production is reflecting the emotion that the lyrics and the singers are trying to convey to the audience. Obviously, it's very aggressive, but what tactics are they using to keep that aggression and to keep that feeling going here? So yeah, let's play it right from the start again, and we'll take it section by section here.
Listen up.
Wow. Okay. Change it up here. Nice. So, one thing I want to point out, I like to do this at the start of every video, but just to kind of be aware of the subconscious turnarounds and kind of programming, or the things that are in our biology that we might not be consciously aware of, but just these formulas and how music tends to work. And I mean, after, I think this is breakdown number 10 for me, the producers who are making this music are very aware of these formulas. You can tell the contrast, the aggression in the production, the power of threes is what we call it. So basically, if you hadn't heard that, it's basically where you do something one time, do it slightly different or the same the second time, change it up on the third time, and then same or different on the fourth time. It's one formula for it, or sorry, those two formulas. Or it could be basically same, different on the fourth time. That's what we heard here in the vocal melody, the first half of this. You notice that there's kind of a filter pulling in on the bass, I think. I could be wrong. But let's just listen to what's going on in the production here. Obviously, we're kind of floating. We don't have the groove yet. We're giving the listener sort of a feeling of being above the song right now. So the chorus is obviously going to be in the groove, right? But if we want to keep the attention of the listener for as long as possible, we want to keep them kind of floating above the track during the verses, and it's usually why there's kind of a feeling of tightness in the verse and openness in the chorus, or, you know, those contrasting elements that are taking place throughout this song here. But I love the way that they're communicating these ideas and giving that space here, especially after that sound that is just earth-shattering right off the start. Very punchy synthesizer. I love the bending on it. The term for it musically would be portamento, sliding from note to note, or just like a glide feature or something here. But let's take it through from the start of this verse here, and just be aware of that subconscious pattern turning around. Listen to the vocal melody here. And it's going up. And then changes up here. Sweet. So we had a musical phrase. So the fourth time there, they even had a new singer, changing it up on the fourth. That's one of the power of three formulas here. But okay, let's go into the next section. Now we're in the groove. Perfect. We had a power of threes there in the vocal melody. Turn you down is the fourth time. It's hilarious because I was just talking about this in NCT's Dream. One thing that they use quite often, and it was the same thing in Monsta X Love Killa. If you wanted to check out either of those videos, they'll be up on the Patreon or YouTube channel at this point, I'm sure. Yeah, those are great breakdowns. Lots of good information in those. But one thing I'm going to steal from those two videos here, because they're using it again, this must be tried and true. It must be proven if it's now come through two songs, and here we are again in another. I'm assuming that the production team is very similar, because they do sound very similar production-wise. Not sound selection, I just mean the formulas and tricks that they're using. But it's the beat one impact. So it's the same thing in the other song. It's very, for some reason, it communicates a lot of kind of masculine aggressive energy, when it's like this, blah, do 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 do, blah, the Michael Bay, the freaking epic explosion music. It's this like massive power thing, and then you pull it out, and then you hit him again with the power. It's this contrast. It's this super aggressive beat one slamming sound when it comes to that synth here. So obviously that's something that needs to be added to the toolkit if it's going to, you know, if you're looking to make anything with this same type of emotion that they're setting. This is now the third song I've heard with this kind of, it's still kind of sexy, but it's still very like forceful, kind of dominant, kind of like in your face type of song. The beat one like slam on the super impact note here. So they bring in the sub bass for the first time. And the kick pattern obviously picks up. We're in a bit more of a groove. There's something else to be said here too. I feel like I've almost said this in every single video, but this is definitely a formula that these producers are using because it's happening in every single song. Verse 1A and verse 1B, and those two things better contrast each other. There's lots of ways I've heard so far, but for the first one being in the context of this song, we have verse 1B being super impactful, beat one sub bass, brand new singer, brand new vocal melody. Sometimes it's call and response in verse 1B, and then the first half of this was obviously a lot more stripped back, slightly more singy. I've noticed basically that if in the A they're singing, then there's most likely going to be some kind of call and response or rappier section in B, and those can be like swap back and forth, but over the last couple songs in this style that I've seen, in order to keep the attention going, in order to keep that contrast up and to keep the listener engaged, they use contrast of that level and are very aware of it. I didn't believe that it was possible to be that aware of how the songs are going, but these songs are manufactured. Like they are so down to the second, to the millisecond, to the note. Like the sound, every sound is absolutely has to be in the song or it's not in the song. Like there's nothing fighting for your attention besides what they want you to listen to at that time. It's like it's hyper attention grabbing music, and it has to do with contrast, and it has to do with how well the track is communicating the emotions that they're trying to get across here. So just check this second half of the first verse out again. So verse 1B, if you will. You know? Nice pre-chorus. Notice how the pre-chorus contrasts the verse. Oh, open, wide synths. So I've noticed across a few songs now that the pre-chorus is usually contrasting the verse. It should always be that, to be honest with you. But in this kind of formula for this song, they've decided to go with the chorus being a mixture of the verse and the pre-chorus. You know, some songs it's quite obvious, like, for example, another formula would be when the intro sound is the chorus, right? So the intro is usually going to be intro and verse. The pre-chorus is going to contrast the chorus and verse, and then they're going to go back into that. So a great example of that would be one of the other songs that I broke down, EXO. There's a few. It was an EXO song, and the bass was very it was very like tight and kind of prominently bass and kick and snare focused. And so that riff that was going on in the bass was the intro verse, switched it up in the pre-chorus, and then was very tight and kind of locked in the groove, very tribal in the chorus again. So what we've got going on here is now a mixture where the chorus is a combination of the two elements that we've had so far to kind of tie those two sections together in a way and elevate the chorus above either of those two sections. So the chorus, obviously, to contrast the verse, is very much open and wide. You're floating above the track. It's a floating feeling. It's open, you know, compared to the verse, which is very kind of locked in and very groovy, sexy and tribal and that sort of feeling here. But yeah, let's just take a spin through that pre-chorus and see if there's any cool elements we could take out. I'm curious about the vocal melody too, and yeah, let's hear that one more time. Wow, that chorus was, you know, in the pre, those just work very well together. I mean, I think the elements that I could pull out of it are things that we've already kind of talked about in this video so far, but just being aware of the call and response, being aware of the contrast and the kind of formulaic ways that they're kind of giving the elements to the audience are huge. There's lots to be taken from this, but let's go into the verse 2 here. Nice. So the second verse is very parallel to the first verse as far as the contrasting section goes, and the you know, super impact synth in the second half. I noticed vocal melody wise they're kind of all over the map, and I like how they're letting each of the members kind of take their own 3 to 4 bar sections and just kind of going off and making it catchy. It's more about what they're saying than the melody. And, you know, that's definitely a tactic. The only other thing I want to say about this verse is that it contrasts the first verse in the fact that they are letting kind of more soloists be the way. It's less kind of group oriented and more about the soloist singers in this situation. And that's kind of the contrast they're using between the first and second verse. I could be wrong, but I mean, I want to see what ways that the second pre and second chorus are different from the first chorus and first pre. So either direction here could work. I'm just let's listen through and see if we can pick out anything that is new to here. I don't know if these groups kind of have like a leader. Like, I mean, hey, what I'm about to say is controversial, but Harry Styles was always the leader of One Direction, if you ask me. Oh, I just said it. I don't know if these groups kind of have leaders as well. I mean, like, just watching the camera, they're kind of staying focused on that one guy through the chorus. It's just an interesting thought that I had, and I'm kind of wondering if they are having kind of a leader in quotation marks, or just someone that they're focusing on for this song. How are the other members kind of elevating that singer above them, and what tactics are they using to ride the line of, is this a solo artist song or is this a group song, you know? And it could have just, you know, just an interesting thought to carry through. I did notice, I wanted to point out the drum fill going into that chorus was really cool. But, you know, and these kind of subconscious turnaround things. What are we, I don't know if it was this breakdown or another one. I don't know if I already talked about this, but the ways that we are turning over every 4 bars has to be different in some way. And we also have to tell the listener somehow that the next section is coming, or else it's not going to have any impact. So we have to build tension. It's like pulling back an elastic band. So for 4 bars, we pull back an elastic band, we pull back another one, then the pre-chorus pulls back this big one, and then we hit it with the slap the listener in the face with that elastic band in the chorus. It's got to feel like it drops in, right? I mean, if you look at it from a bigger perspective too, right from the intro, you're pulling back an elastic band all the way to the chorus, right? And when that chorus hits, it's got to feel huge. It's got to be massive. It's got to be, it has got to have a whole lot of impact for it to really, I think to reach the level that these songs are reaching here. But yeah, I'm excited to hear what kind of ways they contrast the rest of this song here in the bridge. We're already at the second chorus and finishing it up by 1:48, so I'm assuming we're going to have a very creative bridge. That's usually the case when it gets to the second chorus this early on. But, I mean, I'm also... I'm over analyzing to look for the patterns and look for the formulas, and it does kind of ruin the song in a way because knowledge does make it so that kind of the mysticism of it is gone. Like if you ever work backstage one time at a play, the play doesn't have the same level of wonder because now that you know how things work, right? So, but I still think it's important to take these elements and then use that feeling of boredom as inspiration. Now that you hear these elements, and I mean, geez, it's so genius and so beyond anything that I'd be capable of creating at this point. Just getting those formulas drilled in and using them as a tool for inspiration is far more important than kind of hiding from the information. I think it's the same thing with learning theory. A lot of musicians are worried that it's gonna ruin their ability to create music, and I'd personally disagree with that, and I think that it's more of a tool that's under your belt, that it gives you a deeper understanding of who you are as an individual. When you set up limitations, you find out the creative ways that you can use to break them, and I think you tailor your sound and who you are as an individual far more by going to the edges of your discovery and the edges of your limitation. But it's controversial. It's up to you. Really, at the end of the day, whatever makes you feel creative is the most important. Whatever gets the idea out is the way that I would recommend doing it, or that I'm sure anybody would. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to continue through here into the bridge. Let's see what we've got coming on to us here. Let's go. Wow, that note. That's very... Okay, that is very interesting. The way that they are... Wow, that was very interesting. There was some extra notes in there I didn't hear the first time that were a little bit out of the key. It almost felt like I don't have a crazy Jacob Collier ear. I couldn't tell you what exactly those notes are, but it's quite obvious that they're pulling things from outside of the key, but it still works, which is really cool. I don't know what that would be. I mean, I'm sure we could figure it out, but that's very interesting. A lot of people, hey, there's a great example. There's no way that you would have been able to do that without learning a little bit of theory. I feel like, you just get trapped in a box of, does this art, or maybe that's just, it could have been either way. I guess it's in the eye of the beholder, I guess. But yeah, I'm very excited about this bridge. Happy that they're kind of pulling it out and we're going to get a new aspect. I'm assuming it's going to be moderately emotional compared to the rest of the song. If I'm just imagining how they're going to contrast the rest of the song was very in your face. It was very aggressive, and this second half of the song here, I'm assuming is going to be quite emotional and more centered around gaining a different perspective on this, more of a begging feeling. So I'm guessing that the concept for this song is, this person, the lover has gone away and they want it back, or, you know, like they're just begging this person to come back to them or to whatever it is that they're doing, and just sort of stepping into that realm. Now they're going to have to look at it from a different perspective, and kind of, it's like, you know, if you try to persuade someone twice and then it's not working, so you go and you try a different tactic. I think that's, you know, it's giving an alternate perspective on the concept here. I'm assuming that we're going to go to like a very emotional, wide open section. Wow. Okay. Wow. You know what? That's very interesting. I was moderately wrong here. I like how they pulled it out, and did, brought the kind of pre-chorus feeling into it. I was expecting a kind of a longer middle section where it was more floaty, but I also appreciate that, you know, they took it from a different angle. It's been kind of like begging this whole bit, but they really tapped into the, no, you want this. It's not begging. I'm not asking. It's happening right now. And that's really cool. You know, you can choose to tell the story in either way, and I actually kind of appreciate that I was wrong in that situation. I guess the way that I suggested it to be was the obvious thing to do, and probably what was expected. And, you know, that's cool that they were like, I wonder if that was a conscious decision in the room not to go in that direction, or, you know, maybe I'm just totally off my rocker. Who knows? Either way, I think it's really cool. Also, the dance break, the producer solo, is what I've started to call it. You know, when there's no lyrics going on and the producer's just whatever he's doing here, pulling that section out. Because, I mean, if you're listening to that in headphones, I don't know what, you know, if there's no one speaking to you, as the listener, you're listening to the production. Obviously, it's a production solo or something like that. Yeah. Let me hear that again. Come to me, yeah. I'ma keep on walking. Wow, that note. Wow. Wonderful. Yeah, it's a great track. I mean, at that point, I just wanted to let it play out because I think we've pretty much covered all of the elements. I mean, obviously they added in that super high note to elevate the third chorus above the other two, but for the most part, I liked how they kept it pretty well consistent. I mean, there might have been some extra ad-libs or things in there, but anyway, before I give my final thoughts on this, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and if this provided you any kind of value, or if you learned something, added something to your toolkit, we would really appreciate the like and subscribe. If you're looking to go deeper into this, I really can't recommend enough the producer breakdowns on the Billboard500.com and the Music Industry Contact page. We broke down Calvin Harris, Phineas, Rick Rubin, Diplo, and Pharrell Williams, and we basically... What Adam does is he makes a tool list, or kind of we analyze the songs that have come out throughout the courses of their career, sometimes spanning decades, and pick through and find the consistencies between the two parties, and try to figure out what makes those songs last on the radio, and try to figure out what those formulas are that those producers are using to communicate their ideas, or set those limitations for them to be creative. Also, if you're a musician, producer, songwriter, or singer looking to grow literally in any way, the Billboard 500 Club is for you. I've been a part of it for close to 20 months now, and I've seen the most improvement in myself than I have ever in my entire life, and I didn't even honestly think that it was possible to grow this quickly, but it really has been amazing just being around people who are doing the producing game and the sync game and all of that professionally, and getting to ask them questions. You know, I just feel like a completely different person even before being a part of the club, and I recommend it to anybody looking to go to the next level as quickly as possible. The network is incredible, the information is incredible, and the opportunities are like nowhere else on the internet. There's over 70 mentors who are some of the most successful in the industry, teaching up-and-coming producers, singers, and songwriters like you and me. So don't wait too long. There's a limited capacity. Once the club reaches 500 members, they'll be kind of closing it off as its own little ecosystem of executives and songwriters, and I really would recommend not missing the boat while you hear it. It's I can't recommend it. I can't stress enough how important it is and how much it changed my life. But anyway, this song was great. I really appreciate the ways that they're communicating these ideas. There's lots to learn from this song as far as the sound choice and structure-wise. Obviously, we have the micro contrasts, the tones that they're picking, the vocal melodies, and the ways that they're kind of accentuating each of the singers in the group. It's very well done, and I think the thing that I'm for sure going to take away from this is picking sounds that are grabbing attention and really being consciously aware of how I'm trying to gain attention, and what parts of the song are the listeners floating above the song, and what parts of the song the listener is in the song, and really kind of tailoring the experience to their attention span and their feeling, and what they want to, you know, receive, and what kind of part of this world they want to be a part, like what part they want to play in the story of the song. But anyway, my name has been Logan Klaus, and I just thank you again so much for watching. My social media is in the description. Hit me up on Instagram. I'd love to talk. I'd love to chat music. If you have questions about the club, let me know. I'm happy to vouch for it. Follow Music Industry Contact on Instagram, Facebook, and check out the billboard500.com. Thank you so much again for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.